Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudirayet
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Ruttama Sloke
Bhagavati Rottama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, verse 33. Prithapi Anusrutya Dhananjayoditam
Pritapi Anushrutya Dhananjayoditam
Nasham Yadhunam Bhagavad Gatim Chatam
Nasham Yadunam Bhagavat Gatim Chatam
Ekanta Bhaktya Bhagavatya Dokshaje
Ekanta Bhaktya Bhagavate Adhokshaje
Niveshitatmo Pararama Samsrute
Niveshitam Niveshitatam Mo Param. Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Niveshitatmo Pararama Samsrute
Niveshitatmo Pararama Samsrute.
Niveshita Atma Upararama. Okay.
Yeah, one second. Niveshita Atma Pararama.
Upararama.
Upararama. Okay. Niveshita Atma Upararama. Okay.
Prithapi Anushrutya Dhananjayoditam
Pritapi Anushrutya Dhananjayoditam
Nasham Yadunam Bhagavad Gatim Chatam
Nasham Yadunam Bhagavat Gatim Chatam
Ekanta Bhaktya Bhagavati Adokshaje
Ekanta Bhaktya Bhagavati Adokshaje
Niveshitatmo Pararama Samsrute
निवेशितात्मतु परनाम संस्कृते
Rama Samshrute
Pratapi Anusrutya Dhananjayoditam
पृथायप्यनुसृत्य
Dhananjayoditam
Nasham Yadunam Bhagavad Gatim Chatam
Nasham Yadunam Bhagavat Gatim Chatam
Ekanta Bhaktya Bhagavati Adokshaje
एकांत भक्त्या भगवते अधोक्षजे
Niveshitatmo Pararama Samsrute
निवेशित आत्मा उपरराम संस्कृते.
Translation and purport by John Grace Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Synonyms: Pritha, Kunti,
Pritha,
Synonym.
Api, also.
Api,
Api,
also.
also.
Anushrutya, overhearing.
Anushutrya,
Anushrutya,
overhearing.
overhearing.
Dhananjaya, Arjuna.
Dhananjaya,
Dhananjaya,
Arjuna.
Arjuna.
Uditam, uttered by.
Uditam,
Uttam,
uttered by.
Nasham, end.
Nasham, end.
and
Yadu, Nam, of the Yadu dynasty.
Yadu Nam, of the Yadu dynasty.
dynasty.
Bhagavat, of the personality of Godhead.
Bhagavat,
Bhagavat,
of the
of the
personality of
personality of
Godhead.
Godhead.
Gatim, disappearance.
Gatim,
Disappearance.
disappearance.
Cha, also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
also.
also.
Tam, all those.
Tam, all
Tam,
those.
all those.
Eka, anta, unalloyed.
Eka anta, unalloyed.
Bhaktya, devotion.
Bhaktya, devotion.
Bhagavati, unto the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna.
Bhagavati, unto the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna.
Adokshache, transcendence.
Adhokshaje,
Transcendence.
Niveshita Atma, with full attention.
Niveshita Atma, with full attention.
Upararama, become released from.
Upararama, became released from.
Samsrute, material existence.
Samsrate, material existence.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Swami Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation, please repeat after me. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Kunti, after overhearing Arjuna's telling of the end of the Yadu dynasty,
Kunti, after overhearing Arjuna's telling of the end of the Yadu dynasty
and the disappearance of Lord Krishna,
and disappearance of Lord Krishna,
engaged in the devotional service of the transcendental personality of Godhead,
engaged in the devotional service of the transcendental personality of Godhead,
with full attention, and thus gained release from the force of material existence.
With full attention and thus gained release from the force of material existence.
Diksha can read the purport.
Yes, Prabhuji. The setting of the sun does not mean the end of the sun. It means that the sun is out of our sight. Similarly, the end of the mission of the Lord on a particular planet or universe only means that he is out of our sight. The end of the Yadu dynasty also does not mean that it is annihilated. It disappears along with the Lord out of our sight. As Maharaj Yudhishthira decided to prepare to go back to Godhead, so also Kunti decided, and thus she fully engaged herself in the transcendental devotional service of the Lord, which guarantees one a passport for going back to Godhead after quitting this present material body. The beginning of devotional service to the Lord is the beginning of spiritualizing the present body, and thus an unalloyed devotee of the Lord loses all material contact in the present body. The abode of the Lord is not a myth, as is taught by the unbelievers or ignorant people, but one cannot reach there by any material means like a Sputnik or space capsule. But one can certainly reach there after leaving this present body, and one must prepare himself to go back to Godhead by practicing devotional service. That guarantees a passport for going back to Godhead, and Kunti adopted it.
Thank you. Harium Tat Sat. Om Jnana Gnandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangun Langai Tegirim Yatkripa tamam mande Sri Gurum Denatharinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyameshwaram Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pathaka Swamin Itina Mine Namo Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Pradayine Gaurakatha Dhamathaya Nagara Grama Tarine Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Subhyava Paschatya Desatadine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So very beautiful words and very beautiful purport. Krishna, he has got two kinds of existence we can understand from this. One is called Prakata and another is called Aprakata. Means no. Prakata means when you see Krishna personally, when Krishna is present on this planet, everyone was able to see him. Actually, everyone saw him. But only the devotees could understand that here is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is called Prakata, physically present. And there is another phase which is called Aprakata, not physically present. But that does not mean Krishna is dead or God is dead. That does not mean Prakata or Aprakata, physically present or not present, it doesn't matter, God is there. So Srila Prabhupada very beautifully quoting the example to understand the setting of the sun does not mean the end of the sun. So Aprakata Leela, not physically present, does not mean the death of his presence. So that we need to understand. Very beautifully Prabhupada has given the analogy, because when sun is setting in India, sun is rising in US. So the sun is not dead. After all, he is Adokshaja. In this verse, it is given Ado Akshaja. So this word Ado Akshaja, Ada means subdued, and Aksha means eyes or senses. Akshaja. Cha means generated. So our senses are there: eyes, ears, hands, legs, nose. So many 10 senses are there. So we are acquiring knowledge generated. Knowledge is generated from the senses. But so long our senses are materially contaminated, we do not get real knowledge. We have to acquire knowledge through the senses, but unless our senses are purified, we do not have real knowledge. So we cannot appreciate or understand God. His form, his name, his quality, his pastimes, his entourage, nothing of them we can understand by our this present material blunt senses. That's not possible. That is why his name is Adokshaja. Ado Akshaja cannot be perceived by blunt senses. So Ada means cut out. You cannot approach the Supreme by your this blunt material senses. That is not possible. Therefore, his name is Adokshaja, Adakruta Akshaja Jnanam Yatra. So Adokshaja, Jnana means experimental knowledge. Just like in this modern scientists, they believe in experimental knowledge. But they are so foolish. In their own case, they will say, yes, we are trying. In future, it will be successful. Why not experimental knowledge now? Why you are telling in future? You are also going to die in the future. How can you guarantee the success? If you say that life is generated from matter, you are writing so many books as a scientist that this life is generated from matter and getting Nobel Prize also. Then why not by experimental knowledge prove that here are some matters and chemicals and here is life? Why? Why you are not proving? That they say, we are trying. We are trying. This is their escape. Foolish rascals. They escape and they want Nobel Prize. And they write books of what it's impossible. They tell lies and they write books and they get Nobel Prize. But actually, science means two things. Number one, observation, and number two, experiment. So if you do not experiment practically in the laboratory, simply observation is not sufficient. That is not science. That is only theory. That is only theory. Anyway, this experimental knowledge is not very helpful in the matter of understanding the Supreme, because experimental knowledge is, but not by these blunt senses. When the senses are purified, then that experimental knowledge is appreciated. That means spiritual experimental knowledge. That is perfect. Through your spiritual senses, you can perceive Krishna. Not through these blunt material senses. That is why he is called Adokshaja. And our Krishna consciousness movement is to understand that Adokshaja. Adokshaja means who is beyond the perception of these material senses. This is our subject matter. Our subject matter is not anything material. Material is within the purview of my material senses, but our subject matter is beyond the material senses. Adokshaja. Therefore, it is said Adokshaja. Just like Kunti and others. Krishna was not present before their eyes. Krishna has already gone to his abode. But still, it is said that Ekanta Bhaktya Bhagavati Adokshaje. Adokshaje, the same word is used. But if you cannot see God now, how there can be Ekanta Bhakti? What is Ekanta Bhakti? In the words you can see, Ekanta Bhaktya Bhagavati Adokshaje Niveshitatmo Pararama Samsrute. So Ekanta Bhakti means unalloyed devotion. This is the secret of devotional service. Even God is not physically present. A devotee can be very much exalted by devotional service. That is the teaching of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because the Sahajya means persons who take things very easily according to his sense perception, manufacturing. They are called Sahajyas. But this Gaudiya Vaishnava, our Parampara, the devotees, following the footprints of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhus, they are not Sahajyas. They are devotees of the Adokshaja, beyond the sense. Yato Bhaktir Adokshaje, who's that Adokshaja to whom these devotees render devotional service by using their senses. Beyond the sense perception, you see, and still they are devotees. This is the secret of this Gaudiya Vaishnava. Beyond the sense perception, just like the Goswamis, they were living at Vrindavana, simply in separation and search. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also taught us like that. He was searching, where is Krishna? Oh Krishna, where are you? Where is Krishna? And feeling separation. Just like you feel sometimes with your parents or with your lover, separation, and you search. This is our process. Always feel separation from Krishna and try to search out. So when we fall into the material world, from that point onwards, we are searching and searching and searching and searching after Guru. Unless otherwise we get the right spiritual master, our search engine will not stop. Search will not come to an end. But the moment you come across that devotional, the spiritual master, your search comes to an end. Now your activity performance of devotional service begins. So this is Ekanta. This is explained. Ekanta Bhaktya Bhagavati Adokshaja. Adokshaja is beyond my perception. Still my devotion is unalive. Not that I cannot see where is God. Oh, what is devotion? No, just try to understand. It appears to be contradictory. Because foolish people say that if you cannot see God, where is the question of devotion? You want to serve God. But if you cannot see God, then how you can serve? Therefore, particularly this word is used, ekanta bhaktya bhagavati adokshache niveshitatma upararama samsrute. That is the process. So, his name, his form, his entourage, his qualities, everything is non-different from him. So if my blunt senses cannot perceive Krishna, cannot see Krishna, I can chant the holy name of Krishna. I can hear about the pastime of Krishna from the bona fide souls. My ears, my speech, that all will become purified. In this way, my senses becomes pure, because Krishna is all pure and is non-different from his holy name. So when I chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, my speech will become purified, my ears hearing will become purified, then I will be able to perceive Krishna. That Adokshaja, I can feel him. That is the beauty of it. Otherwise, even though we cannot see God with our present eyes, but God is so merciful that, okay, he becomes present before us in a manner by which we can see him in the form of Vigraha, Archa Vigraha. God is beyond our sense of perception, Adokshaja. But those who are neophyte, they may become atheists, that we cannot see God. So how can I serve him? So I'm not serving, I'm going out. So like that, they will become atheists. But those who are adverts, they can see God every moment, because their senses are purified, and with purified senses, this Adokshaja can be perceived. Although physically others cannot see. Hiranyakashipu, for example, and Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlada was seeing God, but his father, Hiranyakashipu, he was not able to see. And the God is present before both of them. So he was asking, where is your God? Where is your God? Huh? Is he in this pillar? Is he in this pillar? Is your God here? Because Hiranyakashipu could not see. But Prahlad Maharaj was seeing. He is seeing God. So he says, yes. Immediately, Hiranyakashipu became angry. He broke the column, and actually God came out. See? So it is a question of advancement. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers taught us that if you feel separation, how you will feel separation unless you love him, and you simply worship the Supreme in a feeling of separation, then that is called perfection. Then, therefore, the Goswamis, their prayer, their method of worshipping the Lord at Vrindavana, they left their ministerial post. One was Prime Minister, another was Finance Minister, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. They went to Vrindavan, leaving everything by the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what was this process? The process was Tyaktva Turnam Sesha Mandalapati Srenim Sada Tuchavat. They gave up their materialistic way of life as very insignificant. They were ministers. Their associates were very big men. But Jaktva Purnama Sesha Mandalapati. Mandalapati means leaders of the society, big politicians, businessmen, empowermen. Because they were ministers, everyone used to come to see, and they were associated with, but they gave up. They gave up. Jaktva Turnama Sesha Mandalapati Shrenim. How it was given up? Swadhatu Chavat Shrenim Sadhatu Chavat. Oh, it's insignificant. What is this? There is no need of this ministerial post. They simply threw it up as an insignificant post. And Bhutva Dina Ganesha Karunaya. Why they gave it up? Because they thought, under the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they understood that so many mass of people are suffering without Krishna consciousness. So we have to do something for them. Therefore, they gave up their ministerial post. Not a fancy. Not a fancy. What is the use of fancy? We must do something. That is Krishna consciousness movement. Not that I have become a mendicant. I have given up all material things. You cannot give material things. Instead of coat, pant, you may have shabby clothes. That's all. You cannot give up. That is not possible. You have to accept something. But they are thinking that because I have given up this coat pant and I am now a shabby dress, I have become advanced. No, not that. Yes, some positive engagement in the service must be there. So, in the section, in the Goswami Ashtakam, you see there. Tattva Turnamashesha Mandalapati Srenim Sadatu Chavat Bhutva Dina Ganesha Kau Karunaya Kaupina Kanta Sritau Kaupina Kanta Sritau, line cloth only, minimizing the bodily necessities of life. Bhutva, because they were prepared. Bhutva Dina Ganesha Kau Karunaya, to give mercy to the mass of people. Mass of people. If you become so much dependent on the bodily necessities of life, then you cannot become fully and wholly for the benefit of the mass of people. Gandhi, he imitated this. For the mass of people, he imitated by wearing simple dress, like the Goswami. He imitated. That is not following, that is imitating. But that was to only certain extent. He could not even imitate properly. And to certain extent, for whatever he imitated, to that much he became success also. But it was political purpose. These things are not for any material purpose. Then it will be failure. If you imitate spiritual life for material benefit, then it will be a failure. So the Goswamis did not do so. They gave up the political thing, and they really did the service to human society. Gandhi, he imitated the Goswami, but he entered into political this thing. So that is very wrong. So they gave up the material opulence for spiritual advancement. Positive. If you don't get something positive simply by negating process, you will never be happy. Again, you will fall down. Big swamis in India, we have history in the past. Sometimes they come to US, sometimes they come to Europe. So, and they come and say that this world is false. Mithya. But we don't say that it is false. We don't say that. Our parampara don't say that it is false. We say it is reality, but temporary. That is right philosophy. How it can be false? Because everything is produced by the truth, by the absolute truth. Nothing can come out except from the absolute truth. Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter. I am the origin of everything. If Krishna is the truth, he is the origin of everything. So how everything can be false? You tell me. Is that very logical? No. If something has come from gold, just like we have got so many ornaments, bangles, gold earring, gold rings, gold necklace. It has come from the gold, right? Therefore, it is gold. So how it can be false? Gold is never false. Gold is gold. So this philosophy that Brahma Satyam Jaganitya, the gold mine is right, but the gold earring is wrong. No, that you cannot say. If gold mine is right, then gold earring is also right, because it has come from the gold mine. Similarly, Krishna says that Aham Sarvasya Prabhava, I am the origin of everything. And the Vedanta Sutra also says Janmadhyasya Yatha. Absolute truth is that from which everything emanates. So, everything has emanated from Krishna. How this material world can be false then? It is true. Then what is that false? It is not false. But it is temporary. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Idea is that this material world is for my enjoyment. That is false. That is false. It is not for my enjoyment. As soon as you take things that it is for my enjoyment, then it is false. Because you cannot enjoy. No, without Krishna, who can enjoy? He is the enjoyment personified. If you connect to Krishna, then you get the taste of enjoyment. Otherwise, you don't have. You cannot just take a bamboo and thinking that I will get sugarcane juice from this. How will you get? Sugarcane juice is in the sugarcane only. It is not in any bamboo. So enjoyment is in Krishna only. Not just without Krishna anything material. You cannot get any enjoyment. You are not the proprietor after all. How can you enjoy? God is the proprietor. So, why the problems of the world? Because people are taking things for their enjoyment. Why this petrol problem? So many different problems. Why? Because God's property, but these fools, they are claiming that my property, my property. God has given the quota, but they are claiming that their property. Without God, they want to enjoy. Neither the petrol is false, nor neither the God is false. Everything is right. But this conception that this petrol belongs to me, this property belongs to me is false. And as soon as this false conception is moved, then you are in Krishna consciousness. It's a very simple thing. What is the difficulty? So here Kunti Devi, as soon as she heard, she also started preparing just like Yudhishthira to go back home, back to Godhead. So he engaged in the unalloyed devotion service to the Adokshaja, Yatho Bhakti Adokshaje. So Krishna consciousness movement is to understand that Adokshaja, and that is the Bhagavat Dharma. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yatho Bhakti Adokshaje. Not to become a rascal and fool that here is the avatar of Krishna. Let us go and see. One who can see Krishna, he can see Krishna everywhere. He can see Krishna here. Why one should go to a rascal, another fool? No, that is not. Therefore, Krishna is Adokshata. There are so many things to be learned. Everything is there in the authoritative scripture like Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And we should take advantage of these books that Srila Prabhupada has given us so wonderfully as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is. No interpretation. No this thing, what do you call speculation. Nothing. As it is, he has given. Sarvopati vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. This is the process. First of all, you make your senses purified. You have to be above all the material designations. Sarva upadi vinirmuktam. In this way, you have to become purified. Nirmalam. Malam means dirt. Nirmalam. Nir means no dirt. So nirmala. Nirmalam means there is no dirt. It is pure. So sarva upadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. Then that means your senses have become purified. Now you can engage your purified senses in the pure sense of Krishna's service. Krishikena Krishikesha Sevanam. Bhakti Rucheta. This is what is called bhakti. This is what is called bhakti. In this way, when your senses will be purified, then you will be eligible to serve Krishna. And how to purify the senses? Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So you have to chant the holy name of the Lord. Hear this Krishna Katha Bhagavatam class. In this process, this is called Bhakti Yoga process. By this process, there are two things happening. Number one, your senses are getting purified. Number two, your surrendering is increasing to Krishna. Then you will be eligible to serve Krishna. Krishikesha Sevanam. Because Krishna is the proprietor of all the senses. Whether it is your sense or my sense. He is the proprietor of everything. So, our senses, as we claim, this is my hand. Actually, this is not my hand. It is Krishna's hand only. Krishna has given me to use this hand. Therefore, this hand, just like my hand is utilized for my benefit. I am not using this hand for your benefit. This is natural. My hands, my legs, my eyes, they are used for my purpose. If it is actually Krishna's hand, how it can be used for my purpose? So, when you learn this science, and engage your hand and all the senses in the service of Krishna, because it is Krishna's, then that Adokshaja you can see, you can perceive. It is not my hand, it is Krishna's hand. It should be utilized for Krishna. That is called Krishna consciousness. That is called Krishna consciousness. So, we have to learn by the process. Ekanta Bhaktya Bhagavati Adokshate. So, this is very important. You can utilize the senses for the service of Adokshaja. Beyond your sense perception is Krishna, but you can use your senses in his service. Then your senses becomes purified, then he won't be beyond your senses. Then he will be perceived. That is where we have to adopt that method. Devotees knows how to see Krishna. Premanjala Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santas Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Chama Sundaram Achintya Gunasvarupam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So they know. They put the love as ointment on the eyes and they can see Krishna. That Adokshaja can be perceived by their transcendental love in their eyes. With that, it is possible. So this is very, very important. So then what is the Ekanta Bhaktya Bhagavati Adokshaja? What is the result? The last line of the verse says the result. What is the result? Upararama samsrute. Upararama means you cease from this repetition of birth and death. No more birth, death, old age, disease. This is the result. This is the actual aim of human life also. Animal life also, any life. So, but animal cannot understand. They cannot perform how to check birth, death, old age, disease. But at least human tattva deham punarjanmana kimame so Arjuna janma karma chame divyam yevam yogati tattva. As soon as you know Krishna is adokshaja, his transcendental activities, his appearance, everything is transcendental because he is not perceived by the blood senses. So he is beyond the material. He is transcendental. Then you will also get the purified senses, transcendental senses, and you will not also come back and touch the matter. This is very good. Thank you very much. So any questions or comments or realization, please do share with us. 5.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
सुनाई पड़ रहा है प्रभु जी?
हाँ, सुन रहा, बोलो।
भगवान की भक्ति का शुभारंभ इस देह के आध्यात्मिकरण की शुरुआत है और इस तरह भगवान के अनन्य भक्त का इस देह से सारा भौतिक संपर्क छूट जाता है। तो देह का आध्यात्मिकरण क्या है? और जब भौतिक देह से सारा भौतिक संपर्क छूट जाएगा तो फिर देह कैसे रहेगा?
ठीक है, अभी जैसे नारियल है, नारियल को आप तोड़ेंगे तो नारियल जब टूट जाता है तो अंदर सफेद से नारियल उसका बाहर का क्या बोलते हैं उसको कवर के ऊपर बहुत चिपका रहता है, उससे हम निकालते हैं ना।
यस यस,
ये है भौतिक का सेंसस जो है भौतिक के साथ जुड़ा रहना। अभी वही नारियल जब कॉपर बन जाता है, जब कॉपर बन जाता है तो उसको जो बाहर की जो बॉडी है उसका उसके साथ कोई लेन देन नहीं रहता, राइट?
यस।
उसको अब तोड़ने के बाद भी वो टूटता नहीं है, अंदर वो अपना स्वयं रूप को धारण कर देता है।
यस प्रभु।
इसी तरह हम अपने जो इंद्रियों को जब आध्यात्मिक सेवा में जब लगा रहते हैं, भक्ति योग में जब लगाते हैं, तो हम इस शरीर के अंदर होता हुआ ही आपको इस शरीर का जो है मतलब ये जो भौतिक के साथ आपका संपर्क नहीं रहेगा। इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप नहीं रहेंगे, आप फिर भी रहेंगे। जिस तरह कॉपर जो है वो नारियल के अंदर ही है, लेकिन उसने अपने स्वयं रूप को धारण किया। इसी तरह आप अपने आप को पहचान ले लेते हैं, आध्यात्मिक पहचान आपको ले लेते हैं, तो ये भौतिक पहचान आपके लिए आवश्यकता नहीं है। उसके अंदर रहने से नहीं रहने से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता।
धन्यवाद प्रभु। और दूसरा है प्रभु, इसके पहले वाले में आध्यात्मिक आकाश में भगवान तथा उनकी दिव्य प्रेममयी सेवा में निरंतर लगे रहने वाले सारे लोग सदैव तरुण बने रहते हैं, क्योंकि वहां न बुढ़ापा है, न रोग और न मृत्यु। तो आध्यात्मिक आकाश में डेमीगॉड्स रहते हैं या कि पीपल रहते हैं?
बहुत अच्छा सवाल, ये हमने कल देखा था। आध्यात्मिक में ना तो डेमीगॉड है ना कोई और है। आध्यात्मिक मतलब है वैकुंठ लोक और कृष्ण लोका, उसको बोलता है आध्यात्मिक। ये जो डेमीगॉड जो रहते हैं वो भी भौतिक है, वो आध्यात्मिक नहीं है। ये 14 भुवन पूरा जो है भौतिक है, इधर कोई आध्यात्मिक नहीं। तो आध्यात्मिक सेवा में लगा रहने से आध्यात्मिक लोक में जाएगा। आध्यात्मिक लोक कहाँ पर है? वैकुंठ लोक है। वैकुंठ लोक जो है वो आध्यात्मिक है। परा अपरा, तो ये अपरा है जहां हम लोग भौतिक है, परा जो है वो आध्यात्मिक है। तो यहाँ डेमीगॉड क्या ब्रह्म से लेकर कोई भी आध्यात्मिक में नहीं है, सभी भौतिक तल में है। आध्यात्मिक तल में तो हम तब पहुंचेंगे जब आध्यात्मिक सेवा में हमारा इंद्रियों को हम लगा करके ये भौतिक से हम शुद्ध हो जाते श्रवण कीर्तन की जरिए, तब जाके हम भी स्वयं को आध्यात्मिक में पाएंगे और हम आध्यात्मिक लोक में जमेंगे। वहां पर ना तो कोई बुढ़ापा है, ना कोई रोग है, ना कोई जन्म है, ना कोई मृत्यु है। डेमिगॉड का तो मृत्यु है, जन्म है, सब कुछ है। आबन्न भुवना लोक, ब्रह्मलोक, कल बताया था मैंने, ब्रह्म भुवना लोक, ब्रह्मलोक से लेकर पाताल लोक तक क्या बोलते हैं 14 भुवनों के अंदर 8,84,00,000 शरीर के अंदर हम घुस करके घूमते रहते हैं। यहाँ पर कोई आध्यात्मिक नहीं है, इसलिए हर जगह पे जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि दुख दोषाणु दर्शनम ये होता है हर जगह पे, पूरा 14 भुवनों में। इसलिए आध्यात्मिक मतलब है कि वैकुंठ लोक और कृष्ण लोक, वहां पर आपको ये जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि नहीं है।
धन्यवाद प्रभु।
थैंक यू, बहुत अच्छा सवाल। 5 4 3 2 1 0. Thank you very much. So let's resume our class on Monday night at 8:30. Till then, Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam की जय,
जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय,
जय
गुरु महाराज की जय,
जय।
वैष्णव प्रणाम। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताई